Awesome.
All right. So basically, this here is what the standard dashboard looks like today. I say today because the big project, and we have our own developers in-house here. We've got 7 full-time developers. Most of them have actually been here since the start or pretty close to it. Um, but one of the big projects we're working on currently is our dashboard. So what we've and a little bit more history for us is when we started here. So I'm sure you've probably heard of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki.
Yep. Oh, of course. Of
So
course.
so we have had a partnership with Rich Dad for the last, I guess, 8 or 9 years now. So everybody who was through his coaching and their education program automatically got entered and signed up into REI BlackBook. So they actually taught a lot of their courses and strategies were using our software throughout their education process. Same thing goes for Ron LeGrand, Matt Terrio. We've got a bunch of big partnerships that automatically includes REI BlackBook in their training. And so we've got, and a lot of them are called different. We white label a lot of those products. So even if they all look the same, but not all of them are REI BlackBook. Some of them are, called REI Solutions or REI Blueprint. There's all kinds of different names, but at the end of the day, it's all of our stuff, but just called something different here. So, but one of the things that we've always kind of catered to these newer investors who are coming up through the ranks, right? But as they grow and really get big, what we realized was that we kind of had some holes in our system. And a lot of these bigger operations were going to Podio, right? They're building these custom systems out and going out and plugging in different software applications because they needed more visibility into those KPIs and team management. And, so it's obviously a completely different skill set catering to somebody who does 2 to 3 deals a year versus somebody who's doing, 15 deals a month. So what we're doing today is pivoting because we've already solved the newer investors' issues. And we're putting the finishing touches on catering to these power users that are doing high volumes of deals. So with that being said, the dashboard is the next big project that we're working on now. So that way, if your business is specific and your cold calling is one of your primary strategies, right? Well, you're going to want to see these metrics as far as how many outbound calls, how many responses to those calls, what, who on your team is making the most calls, how many leads are generated for this, and whatever those metrics are specific to how you're operating, you're going to have the ability to create your own customizable dashboard in here using different tags and sources inside the platform. So when you log in, you'll say, okay, well, this is how many calls went out. This is how many leads responded. And this and this and this. So hopefully that makes sense, but this dashboard will be changing pretty significantly over the next couple months. But today, there's links to your websites and landing pages. It will give you some visibility as far as new leads that have come into the system through a web form. So through one of your websites, landing pages, we also have the ability to take our web forms and put them on like a Carrot site, for example. So if an investor already has a Carrot website that they've heavily invested in, it's operating, well, you can take one of our web forms, put it on your existing site. Any submissions that come through automatically get put into our CRM, can trigger follow-up actions, workflows, all that good stuff here. So this will track any new leads that are coming in through any of those sources. Obviously, quick view of your task. And then down here's the property pipeline. So of deals that you are currently working, where they're at inside the process, basically a snapshot of your funnel, if you will. And then we did recently come out with a profit dial. That's our internal phone system. And you mentioned CallRail earlier. Our
I
system
did. Yep.
operates and looks a lot like CallRail. But we do have a mobile app now, so you can, handle your calls, your text, and basically disposition side of things right there from a mobile app. So if you talk to somebody and need to put them into a follow-up campaign because they're not going to be ready for several months, you can press a couple of buttons and basically have the system send ringless voicemails or text messages, whatever those follow-up sequences that you have set up, you can trigger that quite easily and quickly right there from a mobile app after a phone call.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's the one thing that kind of caught my attention with you guys is just having the phone system within the CRM and the whole system. Because CallRail's great, but it gets tedious and annoying to integrate that to other tools, and not being able to have your call tracking KPIs within your CRM KPIs.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. You need to find out, what marketing, if you're running different direct mail campaigns, for example, you put a different phone number on each one of them, and it's real quick and easy to find out which one's getting the higher responses, where's your deals coming from, because, whichever one's the most fruitful, you being a marketing person, this is common sense, but you do more of what marketing works, right? And there's actually a quote that we had, and I forgot who the author was, but it was like some big guy from Coca-Cola or one of these big companies. But I was like, look, I'm spending $100 million a year on advertising, and the good news is I know half of it's working. I'm getting great results. The bad news is I just don't know what half. And so it's a common theme. It doesn't matter if it's real estate or whatever. But so I'll kind of jump in here, and I'm going to walk you through a demo, which is similar to what we would show somebody who is brand spanking new, never looked at it before, and kind of reviewing different options. So where I normally start is our web tools. So we do have a full domain manager right here inside the platform. If you currently have domains that are already existing, you can import them over to us very easily. All you have to do is type it in, change the name servers on there, and it literally can be done in 10 to 15 minutes. Or you can buy new domains. So I'll just make one up. But you can do .com. We've got all these different options right here. But one of the cool things is we give the SSL certificate completely free each year. So typically that's about a $70 to $100 add-on to have the security license added. We do include that on every domain that is either bought through us or that is transferred into REI BlackBook. So it's just one nice little bonus that we throw in for everyone. All right. As far as the websites go, you'll see this is going to be similar to Carrot. So our websites are built on WordPress, just like Carrot. But we do have a bunch of different templates. So specific, and I can get into our plans and pricing, but our most common plan is our small business plan. That actually comes with 10 websites. So if we've got the authority site, which is a one-stop shop, it's going to have information for buyers and sellers and landlords and leased options and you name it, right? And then we do have templates specific to straight buyer sites, seller sites, people who are doing lease to own or running straight rental landlording, right? The most recent ones we've added is this acquire sellers. So we added this one last year. It's just an abbreviated seller site. Doesn't have a whole lot of extra content, real high converting. So if you're going to be running pay-per-click ads or driving leads for when you're doing marketing and driving them to a website, you would want to do like an acquire seller site just because it's going to be a little bit easier for them to fill out their information, et cetera, right? And then we also have a cash buyer site that we just came out with a few months ago. The idea for that is, excuse me, the idea is, your buyers list. So if you're working with other real estate investors and you've got a cash buyers list, well, this is a good way to have them sign up themselves. When you have properties looking to dispose of, you can segment that list and hey, they're looking for houses in this area with these criteria, and you could basically submit them out, have property listings, do text blast, do all that kind of automates that whole working with other investors side of things. And then, as you know, not most investors, but a lot of investors have other businesses that are not strictly real estate. So we do have a generic business site set up that basically removing the real estate content. And then for anybody who's super creative, has their own ideas and familiar with WordPress builders, they can build out a complete blank site. So I've got some in here I can kind of show you. This is just an old one, but when you're on the actual website, you put your own name and market and all that good stuff here. This merges it into the website template, so it will customize it. So as you'll see here in St. Louis, Missouri, it's just pulling my address from that other, but this is strictly complete out of the box website. I haven't done anything except add REI BlackBook logo up top. But again, sell your home. If somebody's looking at foreclosure, they go here. All of this can be customized. You can change the content, the pictures, everything around pretty easily. You just hit this edit page box or button, and you'll see all of this pops up. So sell your home now. You can change all this around. If I wanted to say today, and I can't spell, you get the point, right? But
yeah, that's really awesome how easy it is to customize it.
Super easy. The other thing that I think is kind of cool with this is the web form. So you'll see I'm just hovering over here. I can hit this little wrench and name, phone number, email address, right? Maybe I want to add maybe I want to add, a drop down box and ask somebody how quickly do they want to sell. Be nice if I stayed on there, but how quickly do I want to sell? Well, this is where REI BlackBook has really done well. So we can say less than 30 days, or maybe it's between 1 and 2 months. And you can add as many of these as you want here, right? So, but what's cool is an investor is going to have a completely different set of actions and a follow-up sequence from somebody who says that they need to sell in less than 30 days versus 3 to 6 months, right? And the whole idea is you want to be able to customize the messaging back, tag and identify leads. A hot lead is much different than a cold lead, right? So when they come through here, we call them workflows. And you can say, okay, if somebody says less than 30 days, this is what I want to happen. So I'll say, less than 30-day submission. Well, if somebody says 2 months, well, there's a different follow-up sequence for 2 months, right? So, and that might be creating a task for somebody on the team, sending a text message back to, if somebody says they want to sell in less than 30 days, the system can send a text message back right away with the link to a landing page, for example, and say, hey, I see that you want to sell and need an offer immediately. Answer the questions here on your property and I'll make you an offer tomorrow. But you can automate a lot of that process. So especially if somebody who is still working a 9 to 5, you being a marketing person, I'm sure you're very aware, but waiting even more than an hour or 2 hours to get back to somebody, leads fall off, they find somebody else.
Yeah.
You have to have a system to let them know that you are aware, you're working on it, and to get off Google, don't find somebody else, right?
Exactly. Yep.
So this system allows that to happen. So somebody could be sitting at their normal 9 to 5 and a lead comes in, but the system can shoot them, bring those voicemails back and text messages back, drive them to landing pages and do a lot of that lead capture and data capture task. And then send you a text and send the real estate investor a text message back or an email letting them know that, hey, a lead came in, this is where it's at. On your break, pick up the phone and give them a call, or whatever the case is. But setting up the process to where none of that stuff's going to fall through the cracks, and that you can control the messaging back to that person based on how they answer even one question. That text message can be changed. Hey, you need to sell right now, and I see that you're wanting to sell in 6 months. I'll stay in contact with you over that time. Here's a couple of things, and you can nurture and build trust during that time. So when it comes time for an offer, it's not like it's just some random person that's just you're throwing numbers at, right? So, but really cool. You can create these web forms, like I said down here. I'm in the wrong page, but I think you can kind of see the point here. Any questions at all on the websites here?
No, not at the moment. Just want to give props on just how Yeah, because I would love to get my hands on it. That's just so awesome and easy to easily navigate it, but customize it as well too. Because I know a lot of people out there, they kind of just want the done for you thing, like, hey,
Yep.
just get it done. But of course, everybody has their own little creative tweaks that they would like to do,
Right.
but they just get intimidated by when you say, oh, design a website or the
Right.
nuances of navigating, especially with the other types of website builders out there. So
Right. Yep. Yep. Absolutely. All right. So that is the websites. Real similar to the websites are our landing pages. So here's a bunch of different landing pages that I have built out. Just from a high level view here, you can see, whatever you name them here, but this will show you how many people's viewed the page, how many people has submitted their information on that page. Um, you can turn them on or off with the push of a button. And the other part of it is SEO. So I know SEO, you know the value of having SEO.
mhm.
So you can sit here, and we do have an SEO tool built in here. So your long tail key phrases, your descriptions, all that good stuff, you fill it out, put your social links and all this, everything else in here. Well, you can build it out, and after you get done, we have a check right here. So it's to turn green, yellow, red. I'll let you know basically how SEO friendly is this landing page or this website, and can go through and make those edits and basically try to do the SEO part on yourself without paying somebody else. But if that's a service you provide and you're part of your payments are setting this stuff up for your students, you can by all means do that. The other part of it too is, have you ever heard of Dan Barrett?
I have, yes.
So Dan's a great guy. We have a relationship with Dan. He owns AdWords Nerds. You might know that, but
I have, yeah.
um, so he actually did some training. So he did a 2-day workshop on Google Ads last year, as well as search engine optimization. And we do offer this training for some of our students or some of our members. But again, the mind shift, how does Google work? How do you set your business up and optimize it? What's the structure need to look like? How do you create the content inside of REI BlackBook? Our SEO tool, how do you use that? How do you create links? This is basically start to finish 2-day full training that Dan did as far as
Wow.
how to get your websites SEO friendly and set them up using REI BlackBook's internal process for that. And the same thing with Google Ads. He did the same through, kind of walks them through how to go through and set up a pay-per-click campaign, for example. But
That's awesome. You guys got a full library there, full of categories.
yeah, so the training that's going on outside my door right now, we do one of these a month. So when we first started, this couple here is down in Phoenix, but they specialize in doing ringless voicemail campaigns. Jeff Charlton, you may know him. It's REI Print Mail
Hmm.
connections, but they're a big national. They work with real estate investors all across the country. But he did a 2-day workshop on how to set up a direct mail campaign using our phone numbers and our text keywords. You can put them right there on the postcards. When they respond, again, captures the information, drives the automation. But yeah, so pretty much, Facebook ads, we've got a direct Facebook integration now right here in the platform. So anybody who is running Facebook ads, you can link your account, run those ads. Any submissions, again, automatically gets put into REI BlackBook, triggers automated follow-ups, all that good stuff. But yeah, we do one of these every single month. Let's see here. And then, so this is the SEO for the landing pages. We already covered that. But similar, if I wanted to add a landing page in our small business plan, which is our most popular, you get unlimited landing pages included with it. So you can build out as many of these lead pages as you possibly want. But again, we have tons of templates already here. If this is one I wanted to use, name it whatever. And then what are you going to use it for? Right? So if you're going for renters, well, the content to be preloaded, the videos, all that stuff would be rental related. And you can, again, just like the websites, customize, change it, do whatever you want with it. It works the same way. So, but nice and cool way to do that. So any questions on the landing pages at all?
No, not at the moment. It's just really awesome how you give so many options, easy, quick options for everyone.
You got to make it easy for investors.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
um, and then same thing like web forms. I showed you that a little bit here, but if we wanted to create a new web form, name it whatever. But if I wanted to, add a phone number, just drag and drop. If you want it required, it does have the messaging to opt them in. Again, we want to keep people off the bad list and not get fines. Single field. So if you start typing 123 Main Street, it'll pre-populate down at the bottom. But you can sit here and add as many of these as you want. If you wanted to say bedrooms, you can make this a 2-column, and bathrooms, 2-column. And it, sets this all up there. You can add different questions. You can have custom questions. What's your favorite football team? Whatever you want to do here. But one of the cool things is optional get code. This is what I was telling you about earlier. So if you wanted to create a web form here and go put that on a Carrot site, for example, all you have to do is save it. You can sit here and copy and paste all this code right here, and then go and paste it on your Carrot site, and then that web form shows up there and can still automatically put all the contact info inside of REI BlackBook, have it trigger any follow-up campaign that you want, all that good stuff. Properties get added.
That's really cool. Nice.
All right. So we don't need that. Same thing with opt-in, pop-in, pop-up. So, pretty cool there. All right. Now let's go to the fun stuff. And that I'll show you what our phone system looks like. So this is, again, we call it Profit Dial. And our small business plan includes 10 phone numbers. So if a investor already has 5 phone numbers, Google Voice or CallRail or whatever, we can port those numbers into our REI BlackBook so they don't have to lose their existing numbers that have marketing materials and all that good stuff with. We do have call recording inside the platform. So any one of your numbers, you can, elect to have incoming calls recorded, outgoing calls, and then depending on what state you're in, you want to notify them that that call is being recorded. And you could either type a message or have one of your pre-recorded messages on there. But really cool if you're driving down the road, you can just talk. You don't have to worry about trying to take notes and all that stuff. And then obviously if you ever have a dispute with somebody, you remember things differently. This is a nice way to keep everybody honest. To add a new number, you can set up a 1-800 information hotline or a local business line, which is most common. But what area code are you in down in San Diego?
619.
619. So these are all the 619 numbers that are available. If you wanted one that had the word buy in it, for example, you can look at that. These two end in buy. So 619-404-3buy. But you can look for vanity numbers and things like that in here as well. Click it and use it, and then that saves that number for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's one of the things that I've learned working with both real estate agents and real estate investors is they don't really take advantage of really implementing multiple tracking numbers within their marketing. There's still some that just use 1 or 2 numbers. They don't, generate a new number for all their different campaigns. So that way they can really get really specific with their KPIs, knowing where the leads are coming from or what's getting the most calls.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny. So you can kind of watch people progress, because again, like for example, like the rich dad stuff, right? So a lot of these people are paying a lot of money for real estate education. They come in, they've never done a deal before, but you see them 3 or 4 years down the road, and now they're full-time investors and, doing 40 deals a year. Well, you can usually tell how successful people are by the number of phone numbers they have. So as you go through, you see some of these people that have 25 or 30 phone numbers, and it's like, yep, they know the game now. They are really tracking what's working, what's not, and again, we have users that sit there and create a phone number. They'll only have it for a month or 2 while they're running this particular Facebook campaign or this, whatever the case is. But again, they want to be able to track how successful that is, right? So, but all right, so here's where the numbers go. Again, you could build out extensions. So, press 1 to talk to Daniel, press 2 to talk to Kevin, whatever. Recordings. So if you already have recordings set up that you've already used for other ringless voicemails or something like that, you can upload them here. or you can create new ones. Just call this number, press pound when you're done, and it saves that ringless voicemail or that voicemail recording or whatever, right? So real easy to do those. Text keywords. We give you unlimited text keywords on our small business plan. So again, especially when you're running direct mail, we have seen our users have given us quite a bit of feedback as well. But when you're doing a direct mail campaign and you're asking somebody to pick up the phone and call, we're actually seeing lower response rates versus telling somebody to text ready or offer or something like that in. Sending a text is not committing somebody to hop on the phone with somebody they don't know, they don't trust. And it's a lot less intimidating to pick up the phone and send a text to start that process. So you can have them call or text in, whatever, but you can see that, you can, and if you wanted to try this out, you're welcome to experience it yourself here. But, you can basically create a new keyword, and just, we'll call it fun, whatever. Whatever it is, a direct mail campaign, what number do you want them to text into? And then what follow-up, what workflow do you want to run here? So, cash keyword, whatever, and create it. And then that will save that text keyword. Let's see here. And set your cutoff times again. So if you got automated campaigns going out, you probably don't want to have these things go out at midnight and stuff like that. People's going to think, what's up? So when do you want it to go? And that uses their local zip codes time frame as far as cutoff times and all that. So, all right. What's cool is we call them call flows. So what happens when somebody picks up the phone and calls in? So I'll stick with like the direct mail kind of talking point here. So if we'll say this is a direct mail call flow or direct mail flow. All right, so what do we want to happen first? Well, so first we could say that we want that if we're running a direct mail campaign, we probably want to know is it a seller lead? So it's the seller lead, they're coming from a direct mail campaign. You might even say blue postcard, right? Whatever. So, I mean, you could build out as many of these tags as possible, but so that way when that person calls or texts in, the system is going, we don't even know their name yet, right? But the system will save a contact record and you'll know that person responded from a direct mail campaign, they're a seller lead, they're a blue postcard, so on and so forth. Well, then what do you want to happen? So if somebody calls in, well, you want this forwarded to your cell phone? All right. And if it's forwarded or an answering service or whatever, right? But what do you want on the caller ID? Well, if you're using the numbers and this is your direct mail number, well, if you have your profit dial number called and that's saved in your phone, you're going to know, oh, this is somebody calling in from a direct lead, right? Or a direct mail campaign. After it's forwarded to you, after 10 seconds, what do you want to happen? So you can really get granular and say, okay, well, if I answer the phone, this is what I want to happen. But what if I didn't answer the phone? So if you didn't answer the phone, well, maybe you want to send them to voicemail, right? seems common. So you can use an existing, voicemail recording. Well, again, does everybody leave voicemails? They don't. So if they left a voicemail, you can have the system, you can say, all right, delay 3 minutes and send them a text message. Sorry I missed your call, I see you left a message. I'll give you a call back here in a minute. In the meantime, check out, if you want to give me more info on your property, I'll be better prepared to talk. And you could, basically put a link in there to a landing page for them to submit their property info.
Yeah, that is a great feature. And again, it's another feature that most investors don't really utilize. Most is creating multiple different call flows, and especially continue the call flow to where it just doesn't end at voicemail. That you're Absolutely. At least touching them again, or keep pushing them down the funnel to wherever you want them to go to.
Yep.
Keep building that trust.
Yep. And I mean, and more, even just as important is like in today's world, and this, I mean, if you don't get an answer, you're picking up the phone and calling the next guy and the next guy. we are in a instant gratification and me world. It's good when you're a consumer. It's bad when you're a business. Just because you gotta have those processes in place. But so we even have users that like will not answer any phone calls, period. And they'll build these out and they'll sit there and come up with like ringless voicemails and send ringless voicemails back. Like, hey, I'm trying to get a hold of you. I saw I had a missed call from you. And, so they'll wait like 2 minutes and have that ringless voicemail go back. And they'll say, I'm going to send you a text message to get more info on your property so that when we connect, I don't waste too much of your time, or, don't have to take too much of your time.
Smart. Very smart.
And then they'll have an automated text message go out 2 minutes later with a link to their landing page. So at that point, if somebody's called in and submitted their property info, that's a pretty motivated lead and you've got somebody there. Well, if they don't do that, it's still a lead, but it's not as really hot and ready to go, right? So, but you can build out these sequences as much as you want. And then if they didn't leave a voicemail, again, you can delay and shoot them a text message back. Hey, I saw you called and didn't leave a message. I appreciate it. Whatever that, however you want to guide them to the next step of action that you want them to take, right? But you can do that. You can, again, have them send a ringless voicemail. And what ringless voicemail do you want to go out here? Sorry, I missed your call message, right? You can create notifications. So if it's you and somebody on your team, you might say, new lead came in, didn't leave a message. And you can have this get texted out to people on your team or send email notifications that something happened, right? You can have this create task. So if somebody needs to pick up the phone and call somebody back, you can, call back, seller, whatever. And you can merge in the information. So here's their phone number that they came in with here, so you can basically, so if they have their name on there, you give them their name, their phone number, all that. Who do you want to assign this to on your team? What type of task is it? What's the priority? When the due date is, all that. So again, the whole idea is just to make sure that nothing falls through the crack. We're spending a lot of time and money getting leads to come in. The last thing you want to do is let them fall out without having a run at it, right? This is one more thing too that is really cool. We call it smart routing. So say a call comes in and you can say, okay, if it fits the criteria, if it's a first-time caller, this is what I want to happen. And, so you can have it basically go down a different path if it's somebody first. So I told you that some investors don't want to talk to first-time callers. Well, they'll automatically send it to voicemail or to a greeting and then have the system send a text message or ringless voicemail back to kind of start the process. Well, number two, if it's a repeat caller, well, this is what we want to do. So if that same number is called this number more than once, well, okay, well, that one should get forwarded to my cell phone or to my partner, whatever. But maybe this is somebody who is, branch number three, if they're identified as a cash buyer, for example, if you're a wholesaler and you're, somebody calls in and they're labeled as your cash buyer, well, those are important calls to take. So have that one get forwarded to somebody, whatever. But you can sit here and build out different triggers and handle these calls differently based on what they're identified when that call comes in from. But kind of a cool way to just be a little bit more efficient.
Definitely. Well, I'm already in love with this call tracking and the call flows. You definitely trumped CallRail.
Well,
you definitely trumped it. This
so
is really awesome.
It. Cool. Well, I'll get out of the phone system here, but yeah, pretty much whatever you can think of, you can build it out inside this system here. All right. So similar to similar to call flows are workflows. So a workflow is basically what follow-up sequence, what set of actions do you want to take place when this occurs, right? So if somebody comes through your website and submits information because they're interested in selling a property, well, you would attach a workflow to that web form. So again, any of them here, this run workflow. So as soon as somebody presses get started, what do you want to happen next? So what we do here is, again, it looks just like our call flow system. So if somebody comes to a website, well, you want to probably tag them as a seller lead or, website lead, this and this and this, whatever. And then what do you want to happen? Again, you can delay, wait a few minutes, and have the system send them that text message back, or whatever the case is, right? So you can go through and do the same thing as what we did on the call flow. Or if somebody texts in, right? If you're doing a text keyword on a direct mail campaign, well, when that text message hits our inbox, what do you want to do? So again, you can have a delay, shoot a text message back, link to a landing page or something like that. You can have it create a task for you to pick up the phone and call them right away. It's whatever process you have in place, but you can really go through and systematize whatever that inbound lead capture, follow up all the way through. And we have people who are landlords that build out workflows for like maintenance requests, right? So if you've got 20 properties that you're a landlord for, well, that can be a full-time job. Just, hey, my AC is not working, or my toilet won't flush, right? Well, we have people that will sit there and say, okay, text service to this number. And then it shoots them a form back. Right there, they have to fill out what's the nature of it. Is it a plumbing issue? Is it AC? Is it this, and this? And then based on how they answer it, it gets routed to different people. It just automatically gets sent to their AC guy if it's an AC issue. Automatically goes to the plumbing guy if it's a plumbing problem, because why even get in the middle of it, right? So you can do a lot of things like that to go through and work this out. The other thing I want to show you, and we did a case study on this gal, but her name's Marcy Martinez. This is a really, really, really awesome, cool story. First of all, Marcy is like one of the nicest, cool people you've ever met in your life. She lives down in Corpus Christi, Texas. But we had got wind of this last year, but what she was doing is she was a pretty new investor, still worked a 9-to-5 job. And she was at like a REIA club meeting and got to talking with another investor who had like 200 dead leads. So he had found them driving for dollars in different ways, this and that. Well, he called each one of them once or twice. They didn't call him back, so he marked them off as dead. She paid like $20 for this list of 200 dead leads. And she came back and built out a 1-year follow-up system. And it's like, holy cow, a full year? That's crazy, right? It is. But it worked out for her. So what she had done was build out one workflow, and you'll see, all right, so here's the start of it. She marked them as cold lead, follow-ups, and she called it hunt lead for some reason. But the first thing she did was send a ringless voicemail to all 200 of them. You can click here, and we've got the exact script, that message that she put. All right. The next one, she waited a day and sent a text message, and here's the exact thing that she wrote. Are you still interested in selling? If so, when's a good time to chat? But what she had done is she literally built this out, and then as it goes down, it waits 2 days, and then it waits 2 weeks. So it's not like hitting them every single day for a full year. But she built out this 52-week follow-up sequence, went to the CRM, attached this to all 200 people at the same time, and triggered this follow-up process. So all 200 people got the ringless voicemail, got the text messages, and all the way through. Well, it's, not everybody replied, but out of that 200, maybe one person called in the first time, right? So as soon as they pick up the phone and call, the system will automatically stop sending these automated text messages, and it triggers another follow-up sequence that says, hey, great, I'm glad you're ready. Please give me the most up-to-date info on your property, and it automatically sends them that text message back with a link to give them all the details on the property. Then, so again, she has systematized, but she's gotten like 14 deals off that list of 200 originally.
Wow.
And she does this all the time. So we've done case studies like, hey, like what happens if you make an offer on a property and they say no? A lot of people just stop then, right? Well, there's still a lot of deals if you keep following up. And again, sales is all about follow-up. So we even have a workflow that we recommend called did not accept offer workflow. And that waits a couple weeks. Hey, it's been a little bit since we made an offer. Our offer still stands if you'd like, and just keeps following up, because you'd be shocked at how many people will say yes down the road because they get a different offer or whatever the case is. But the point I'm trying to make here is you can build these things out to do pretty much whatever you want, from texting and emails and ringless voicemails, creating tasks for you to pick up the phone and call them, all that good stuff. But you can basically systematize and have one follow-up sequence go, and then as soon as they reply, it stops, triggers another follow-up, and you can really build these things out. So especially if you're a 1 or 2 person team, and want to grow and scale, you have to have stuff like this in place. Otherwise, stuff's going to fall through the cracks, right?
Oh, definitely. It's, fortune's in the follow-up.
Fortunes in the follow-up. Yeah,
And, especially with tools like this, where you can build a drip for, a year or more, there's no excuse. It's like, why not? You never know. You never know. They might not be ready now, but things can change quickly in 3, 6, or 12 months later.
Yep,
For that person.
Yep. And most investors are not following up for even more than a couple of months, let alone
Yeah.
6 to 8 months, right? Like we actually have some numbers that we were sharing, like I think it was like 72% of all deals happen after 6 months from the point of entry. So, and like 92% of investors give up after 2 months.
Yep.
So you can see this massive gap. It's like, all right, a very few portion of you are getting most of these deals because you follow up long enough. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of what we've been preaching for a long time, is following up long enough, right? But we make it very easy for them to do that. All right, so that's the workflow part of things. I also told you that we do have a Facebook integration. So if you're running Facebook leads, you can just link your account here, create your lead ads right here. If somebody's in Facebook, they don't even have to leave Facebook. They can submit their name, all their, basically answer your lead form, and it will, again, automatically come into REI BlackBook, can trigger all those automated follow-ups I was just showing you, and all that good stuff. But good stuff. And then, all right, so went through that. Here's our contact management system. So we use tags, like I was showing you, like how to tag a seller lead and direct mail and all that, right? So you can build out as many tags as you want. But as you're going through here, Kingdom's, I don't know if you ever heard of Kingdom Real Estate.
Yep.
So they were a big partner of ours. Todd Fleming over there actually did a secret shop on us last year, signed up, and absolutely loved it so much. He's been using it ever since. But he actually includes that in all of his coaching programs now. So he's such a firm believer of it these days. But you can go through and say we wanted to search for anybody who is a seller lead, right? Press apply. Well, this is segment our list here. If we wanted to select all of them and say, okay, I want to trigger a follow-up sequence, you can write here and trigger a workflow. What workflow do we want to trigger? This one, whatever. What number do you want to do it with? And then trigger it right then and there. So all those people can get put into that follow-up sequence. Or maybe you want to do a text blast out to all of them. Maybe if you've got a property and you want to send a blast out to your cash buyers list or anything like that, you can do a text blast, a ringless voicemail blast, emails, pretty much do all of that on a mass scale right here as well. So kind of a cool way to do it. Let's see here. If I'll remove all those. Actually, this here is kind of cool too. Let me find this guy. I use him as an example frequently, but I did a demo with this guy last September, and this will track every touch point that you've ever had with a contact. So you'll see I've got pages worth of stuff here. Wow. So
nice.
A text was sent. So I can click on this and say, okay, the text was processed, it was sent to them, and it was delivered. Step by step. If they fill out a web form, it shows you that they filled out a web form. If a workflow has been triggered for something, it lets you know what workflow was triggered. Any incoming calls, all that good stuff. But what I like to laugh about this guy is part of the workflow. I have a workflow set up for demos where somebody, if they want to see a live in action, they can pull out their phone, text a demo to this number. So part of that is I send them a copy of our marketing playbook. It's, how do direct mail and, different things like that we just send out as a freebie. Well, this guy here, there's 36 records. So after he filled out my web form, that triggered my follow-up workflow to send him his marketing playbook download. And you can see the email right here. Click here to download it. Here's a free guide to help you navigate it. But so back in September, the email was sent to him. It was delivered right away. He opened it 4 minutes later. opened it again, opened it again, opened it again. He clicked on the link at 6:30. At 11:30 that night, he opened it again. At 4:47 a.m., he opened it. So this guy had went back and studied that playbook and clicked the links. You can see there was 36 different times.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but it's just kind of cool. But it gets that granular as far as tracking what they're doing. Every text message that comes in, you can click on it, text them back here if you want, put links in there, merge their names, all that good stuff. But that's one of the things too that I didn't show you very well. If I wanted to select everybody and do a text blast, for example, I can merge and say, okay, here's their first name. So Daniel, are you still interested in selling? If so, please let me know, whatever. And you can put a link to your seller landing page right there. If you're doing this at night, you can schedule this and say, okay, I want this to go out tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Right here, press continue. This will let you know, all right, there's 25 people. You can preview the contact list right here. And then send that blast out right there to anybody you select. But you can merge their names in, you can merge properties in there. So, hey, are you still interested in selling your property at, and merge in their property addresses. So it's highly personalized text messages. And you can, again, send it on a mass scale. It still personalizes everything, but kind of a cool way to go about it. Any questions on the contact system here?
No, not at the moment.
Nope. All right. And then, so our deal, we also have a Bird Dog property finder portal here. So you can add a property finder. As soon as you put their email in, it will automatically email them. They'll basically be able to create their own username and password. So they can drive around and submit properties, and the properties will automatically get put into your property. Be listed down here. And you can accept them, reject them, all that good stuff right there. But if you do use Bird Dogs, we have a Bird Dog portal right here in the platform as well. All right. And then property pipeline. So this is another fun thing too. So as you have properties that come in, you can filter and say, okay, what properties came in from property finders, or which ones did I add manually? Which ones came through a website? So on. What's the status? So if I want to look at which ones are under contract, or, so on and so forth. What type of deals do I have? So you can sort your list based on all these different criteria, and you can add custom steps to here if you'd like. So we can click on this one here, for example, just to show you what it looks like. But this here is our lead sheet, and you can customize this. So if I wanted to, add this one, and is how big is the yard, whatever. But you can make it required, so on and so forth. But you can completely customize your lead sheet as well. Your contacts, so any sellers, buyers, contractors, anybody who's associated with that transaction, you could list them all here, so that way there's no confusion where. We do help with a repair list, so anybody who's doing fix or flips or looking to kind of help find out what that ARV, that after repair value is, you can go through exterior, interior repairs, utilities, plumbings, and this will help come up with repair estimates. This will give them some info on comps. So this will pull all the public records, what Zillow has it at, and then you can go down here on a map. Well, we've got a map right here, and you can go down, here's a list, and say, okay, well, this one here's a good comp, that's a good comp, or what does this one look like? This is linked to Zillow, so you can kind of take a look and find out how it compares. Add and subtract right there, and this will update the ARV just based on the comps you select. We have a maximum offer calculator. So, here's your ARV that's been updated. What's your profit rate, repair estimate, all that stuff, and this will kick out what your maximum allowable offer is based on everything. And then right here it says if you want to go, you can go to the analyzer to compare different scenarios. So here's the analyzer. So this is really helpful, especially for newer investors.
Oh
But
yeah.
so how are you acquiring the property? Here's your purchase price. Here's your ARV. And then what are you going to do with it? Is this a wholesale deal? Are you going to rent it, fix and flip it? Under this one, it's a rental, for example. How are you going to finance it? What's those financing numbers look like? What's your expenses look like? So initial repairs, are you paying somebody to manage the property? Your taxes, all that good stuff. Income, what are you going to rent it for? Blah, 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 blah. Exit, how long are you going to hang on to it? What's that look like? And then based on all of those different numbers, here's your cash flow report, right? So here's what I said I was going to hang on to this for 9 years. Here's what it looks like from a cash flow perspective. Here's my operating expenses. And then here's my executive summary. So this is really helpful for those who are trying to get private money. You can print out a very professional report and gives a very good idea of what this is going to look like from a finance standpoint. All right. Any task associated with the property, you can use this as a filing cabinet for pictures and contracts and inspection reports, whatever. Any notes that you want to take, and then marketing. So you have a property under contract. It's time for disposal, right? So what are we going to do? So first, right here, this community status. You can press this, and this will publish this property on other REI BlackBook members' buyer sites. So if you're a brand new investor and you have no properties under your belt right now, you can still create your website and allow other people. So if somebody comes to the site, it looks like you have a bunch of properties, right? Versus 0. Website status, you can turn a website on. Do you want this featured on your website? And then property blaster. Do you want us to syndicate this out to third-party sites? So I can press on, and this is a rental property I've got it listed as. So for example, this is going to show up on Zillow as an available rental property. There's probably 40 or 50 outside websites that will pick up our listings and put them just by one push of a button. So
Really, one push a button, you're already on third-party websites.
Yeah. Now it
wow.
does take 24 to 48 hours, depending on what outside site it is, for them to pick it up. But yeah, so you just got to press one button here. I'm going to turn that off, so because this one's not available. Just an example. But you can fill out your property basics. Do you want to add, property features, school info, just like add video tours to it, all that good stuff. And then we give unlimited single property websites. So right here, the website's on. We have domains that people can use for free, or they can add their own. It's up to them. You can copy the website links and do a text blast out, or put it on Facebook, or whatever the case is. Make it easy to copy those website links. This will track how many people visited the website, how many people submitted info that they're interested. Again, we're all about automation. So if somebody says, I'm interested in buying it, well, here's my schedule showing, right? So this is what I want to take. This is who needs to be notified, send emails, all that good stuff about showing the property. What do you want listed on the website? Do you want the pictures and videos, those cash flow reports? Do you want those put on there, yes or no? You can add tracking pixels on your website. You can do pretty much anything. So after you get that set up, you can view and customize the website. So we'll say this one's in the mountains. I'm a mountain guy living in St. Louis, but so here's this. And now we've got different templates that you just saw here too, but here's pictures of the house. I didn't fill out a description, but here's the features. Again, if they want more info, you could link your Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff here. Here's all the photos. Here's a map. What's nearby. So do you need to walk to go to the grocery store or whatever? Here's the comps that you had selected. Here's your cash flow reports, right? Any documents, like if you have an inspection report, whatever. But so you can put together unlimited property websites. So if you're going to do a text blast out to your buyers, you can just send them straight here. They can link right to it. It'll track who shows up, all that good stuff here. But
yeah, that's a great feature, because it's funny. Over a couple of years ago, I used to do that for real estate agents, and some investors would be to create property pages. And I still see marketers still do that. And there's also other softwares, but the marketers that do that for realtors or investors, they charge 50 to $100 to create one.
Yep.
And some of the other softwares out there that you can do that with are $100 a month.
Right.
So you're just with that tool, you're already getting, bang for your buck,
Oh, yeah.
not having to hire somebody or, buy a whole other software that's, overpriced.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. I'm going to turn this one off, and then you can reset these too. So if you wanted to look on like a weekly basis or, how daily, whatever, but again, you can go through, do some really cool stuff here. If you want to create flyers, we've got, you can create PDF flyers or HTML flyers. If you want to do an email template, an email blast out, you can send this to your email list if you don't like doing the texting and stuff like that. But real nice, easy way to market your properties. We've got some big power users that strictly have us just for disposition, just because they can syndicate it out, have a single property websites. And like, I don't know if you know Core Properties, Rob Hyder. He's actually a St. Louis guy, but he's doing a couple hundred deals a year. But he literally uses us just for disposition because they've already spent like 50 grand building out Podio. So they're already in too deep on that on the front end side, but they do like us for the dispo side. So, but we do it all. So, I ran you through pretty much everything. I spent a little bit more time than I normally do, but you seemed interested, so I kept going.
Oh, I'm very interested. Yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, any questions at all, or something that I didn't show you that you want to look more at here?
I do have a question for you, and it's just a curious question that I guess most people should know about is, if I was an investor using this, what would be my daily workflow? Like, it's Monday morning, I'm walking in, I'm logging in my REI BlackBook just to kind of get an overview of, okay, what's on my to-dos today? Who do I need to follow up with? Or who can I just check that's on drips? What would be my typical morning workflow that would be every single morning with the system?
Yeah. So as you're going through, so usually like whether it's call flows or workflows, right? So again, if a call comes in, we want to create a task. We want to do something to make sure that that something, someone needs a call back or needs action there. So we do have a task management system. So I'm the main account owner. So this is going to show up. If I just want to look at all of my tasks, these are my tasks. So these are overdue. These are ones that are upcoming. I don't have a whole lot of tasks built out in here just because I'm not using this for real estate. It's just to show you. But this will show you, any that are due today, overdue, all that good stuff, what type of task you can dig down. And then you can go to all tasks and say, okay, well, assign to anybody. You can dig down to an individual. Again, and just to kind of make sure you can see which properties have tasks associated next to them over here. But the other part too is on those task management, you can elect to get a text notification or an email notification that a task is due when stuff like that pops up. But this here is a nice way to say, okay, here are the tasks that I have on my plate today. The other part is looking over here at like the new leads. So when we have the new dashboard out with those KPIs, that's going to really drive a lot of that behavior as well. Just because when you come in here, there's going to be KPI specific to what your business is looking for. So you'll be able to really dig into that. But using that task system, and normally a little thing will pop up here, number one, is to let you know, any phone calls that came in, notifications, and here's the task. Call back this person today. These are all listed, so I could click here. There it is. I'm going to just mark that one as complete, and now it's gone. But so, I mean, that's one way to kind of keep it in order. The other part is looking at your inbox, right? So again, this is letting me know that I've had 227 phone calls. I've got 193 messages. I've got 333 text messages that I haven't cleared out of here yet. So you can go through here and I can click on it right here. Okay. Archive text. So get that out of there and it's gone. It just attaches it to the contact record. So this thing here, again, so whether it's text, calls, voicemails, or a normal task, this will show you any of those. This will show you, this here will show you all your old, any text blasts that you went out, how many people it went to, does it sent, you can click on the details. This will show you reports. It'll let you know, all right, out of this 27 people that got sent out, 27 texts, 100% were delivered. There's nothing else scheduled. If any of them failed or were canceled, whatever, you could click on these links and it'll let you know how many of them were not sent out or any of that good stuff. Email blasts, I didn't do any, but this is a nice way to track and again make sure that your stuff's going through correctly. I don't know if I answered your question very good there.
You did. You answered it perfectly. Yes.
All right.
Because I know for me, it's like, okay, what's my inbox? Like, is there anybody I'm manually, having conversations with, but who's not on a like workflow yet? And then it's also like, what are my tasks for the day?
Yeah. So this will also let you know too. So if you've got text blasts that are scheduled or email blasts or ringless voicemail blasts that haven't been sent out yet, but you've already got them scheduled, this will show you that any of them that are scheduled, what it is, who's the recipients for them, what the message is. Again, just as a reminder to make sure you've got your system set up correctly. Once that does go, that you're ready for it, right? Because hopefully your phone starts blowing up. But yeah, nice little way to go through there. Obviously, we've got a support center. We've got 5 full-time support center. I'm part of a support center, but you'll see here, this is our, over the last 60 days, out of everybody who sends in a support request, 97% of people are happy. And that's hard to do when you're dealing with technology.
Yeah.
But you can kind of go through that. Here is what our support center looks like for our customers. So they can submit a request if they need help right here. Maybe they need to help get started. So here's how you set your account up generically. Here's how you set up your business number. Here's how you set up your website. Here's how to secure your domains. Tips for getting started, blah, 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 blah. So we walk them through step by step how to help out or how to get help. If they need help on a phone system question, right? So here's an overview of our new mobile app. How do you place an outbound call? How do you trigger a workflow response, right? Team member permissions. I didn't go over this. So our small business plan, you actually get up to 10 users. So you might be the business owner, right? But you might have a VA. You might have somebody who handles your dispositions, etc. So you can go through, add a team member right here. This walks you through step by step. You can click on that person. And then here you have the ability to say, what do they have permission to mess with, right? So do you want them to have access to the mobile app? Do you want them to be able to add and delete contacts, right? So if you've got somebody you don't know or trust, you probably don't want somebody to have the ability to delete every one of your contacts out of your system. So you can set up basically what people can and can't access inside of REI BlackBook. But yeah, I mean, our phone system goes through, our support center goes through. There's videos on a lot of these things. How to create a text keyword. This is, again, walk you step by step, everything you have to do to create a keyword. But super easy. Try to make this dumb proof, right? So
yeah, I feel like you have to with quite a bit of stuff, especially in real estate.
That's right. Real estate can be hard enough on its own, let alone trying to have a technology platform. But once you get the platform set up, it makes it easier. So,
oh yeah. Well, cool, man. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to really walk me through this. I'm excited to share this with a lot of other people as well and get this online.
Yeah. So I know you're pretty familiar with other platforms and other tools. How does this stack up compared to anything else? I mean, do you see any holes anywhere? Do you see things like,
I mean, really cool, I don't see any holes. Usually I would love to get my hands on it and just obviously click buttons and put fake leads in there and stuff like that. For me, I love the fact that you can have your landing pages, your call tracking all within your CRM, right? Because like I said, so in the past, I've used, Infusionsoft, Investor Fuse, Flip Pilot, even just other random like real estate agent specific CRMs or generic CRMs tailored for investors or realtors like Active Campaign or Copper and stuff like that.
Yep.
And of course, I'm very familiar with CallRail and I really like it. However, having to integrate CallRail to your CRMs, and of course, you're limited in certain things. And it's just nice to be able to have KPIs under one dashboard. Because for me, when I used to do, monthly marketing fulfillment for investors, I'm having to pull KPIs from different softwares and then pull them together for one report. And that takes time and it's just annoying. And it's like the last thing you want to do on your day.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and then of course I know, I of course enjoy making landing pages, I'm ClickFunnels savvy and stuff like that. But for the common investor realtor who just needs, let's say, a landing page or a property page very quickly, I really like that as well too. Because one, they're saving money by not having to hire somebody or buy a whole other software that just makes them property pages.
Right.
And Carrot, and Carrot Lead Propeller are great sites as well too. But I know most investors I've met who have one, they've never customized it themselves. They've never gone into it, even though they do have a cool backend where they allow you to customize it. No one ever does because there's still a huge learning curve for them with it. So,
right. Yep. You're absolutely right. So, this here is a page that we have set up for, I mentioned like Todd Fleming over at the Kingdom, and you probably know Matt Terrio. I don't know if you know Matt, but so we've had a partnership with Matt for a long time. We actually built a white label version for him. It worked the same way. It was just called something different, but we've realized that when you allow other people to white label and, they're responsible for their own billing and support and everything else, it creates a little bit of a hole for the customers because, Matt's a great real estate guy, not necessarily a software company, right? So he doesn't have the team and the resources to provide the tech support and all the other things. So we're actually getting away from the white label model and going more to where they're just promoting into REI BlackBook, and it just works a lot better. Our customers are, before our white labels, our customers would stick around for 4 or 5 months just because they weren't trained on it properly. The support process wasn't good. It just, this is our core business. This is what we do. So we're much more capable and successful at providing tech support, at being consistent across the board. We've got our own Facebook group, right? And do weekly Q&A webinars. So we're more accessible to get platform related issues and questions resolved quickly. So what we've done is we've allowed certain partners to basically send referrals to this page. And normally if you go to our front end website, it's $1,000 to sign up, just from a licensing fee. And then they pay $197 a month is what's most common. But, so again, that's a big number to play with, right? $1,000 up front. So we give our resellers the option, and you can basically share this page. They can sign up and they save the $1,000 up front and only have to pay $197 to get started. So it's been really popular. We just allowed this, open this thing up about 2 or 3 months ago. We've probably had about 1,000 people already signed up under this. But
huge congrats.
Yeah,
that was probably good.
Well,
good
thank
payday.
you. But there's a little short demo video here that walks them through high level what the platform looks like. If somebody wants more information, like here's a website, they can click here, and here's a 1minute and 40 seconds that walks through our websites. If they want a CRM or the call tracking workflows, all the way through. So we've got little 2 or 3 minute videos for each one that they can learn about. But this here is what's really cool. So I love this little part of the page. Basically, what does REI BlackBook do / replace? So investor websites. Some people's paying $100 a month for an investor website. Well, you can get rid of that. Your landing pages, sales funnels. You can pay up to $100 a month for that. For CRM, for email autoresponder, for text platform, call tracking. All these different things that everybody goes out and buys individually. it adds up quick. Well,
Mm-hmm.
what this doesn't show is you might have every platform under the sun, but getting them to communicate and work together is a bigger problem than just
Oh yeah.
having them, right? So,
Yep.
so you don't have to mess with all that, but these are our two options that we sell into, $197 a month. Accelerator, all those 2-day workshops that I was showing you, those trainings, we used to sell those for like $1,000 a piece. Now we just came out with this accelerator plan. So for $300 a month, you get every one of the trainings we've ever done, as well as all future workshops. And then you get, 20,000, or I'm sorry, 20 users accounts, 20 websites, 20 phone numbers included. All that stuff's basically rolled into it. So $197 or $297 a month. If any referrals that you send in, if they sign up for $197 and they upgrade to our $297 plan a month later, well, you still get 20% commission of whatever they're at. So basically on this, you would get $60 a month for each user that came through. And they can upgrade or downgrade anytime. We do annual plans as well, so they get a little bit of a discount. We probably have about a third of our customers on annual plans, so they might be paying basically $3,000 a year, but you would get 20% of that right out of the gate as soon as they pay
Nice.
for that. So it adds up. But this is a nice video. A nice little sales page. I can get you set up in here. I think I approved your affiliate.
Yeah, you did.
request.
I did get the email and a link. Yep.
Perfect. So, and when you log, let me see here. All right. So this is basically your affiliate portal. So it looks like you've had one click so far.
All right.
And do you have a PayPal account?
I do. Yes.
All right. So whenever you're in here, you can click select payout method. And if you set up your PayPal account, it will automate the payments and just automatically get sent out to you after. When somebody signs up, we do give them 30 days to cancel and we give their money back. So basically, if you were to sign up somebody today, 30 days down the road is when you would get paid, just because we have to make sure we're not refunded back.
Yeah.
And then upload your W-9, or you can send it to me. We just want to make sure we've got a W-9 so we can pay you. And then right down here is where your links are. So this is that referral page that I just showed you. But what's cool is free training to close 2 extra deals. So we did, and I can click on this and show you, but you can share this link, for example. So even if it's not somebody who says, hey, I want a CRM and I'm ready to buy, if somebody's got a question and wants to know, how can they systematize their business? So this is a training that we did. So when the leads are generated, here's the different marketing options. And it's hard to see on this page here, but, Google ads, whatever. Well, they come down. Did you contact them? Yes or no? Well, if it was no, and you can't get a hold of them, we'll put them in a 10-day follow-up sequence. Did they respond? Yes or no? If it was no, put them in a 12-week follow-up, because it's still a lead. They contacted you somehow. If it's no, well, let that 12-week reset. If it's yes, analyze, make an offer, accept it. Did they accept the offer? Well, hey, we already talked about this. Did not accept the workflow. You can just trigger that automatically, and it'll keep following up with them. But this here is basically a 2-day training. I'm not a 2-day training. I'm sorry, a 2-hour training that we put together. It's basically plug your leaky sales bucket. Here's your lead capture process. They can do this without REI BlackBook. It still talks through the strategy of having systems and processes in place. But where I'm going with this is you can share this link, and this will set a cookie on their computer for 90 days. So if they access the free training and they decide to buy REI BlackBook 2 months from now, well, you'll still get commission because it's linked to them for 90 days. And then we also did an expert interview series. So when all this COVID stuff, obviously people were pretty worked up and scared. So we did some, and this still applies, but here's Dan Barrett. He did an interview, but here's some of the interviews that we had done with different people. George is a finance guy. Andy Werner's a big wholesaler. Mark's a landlord. Dan's a SEO Google guy. Matt Bell's a financing strategy guy too. But We basically did expert interview series, so they can opt into that. Again, sets of cookies, and then if you can also have a full demo. So if somebody wants a personal demo and you're not looking to give them the $1,000 off, you can share this one here. One of my sales guys will do a demo with them. If they sign up, you still get commission on that as well. So, but nice, easy way. You can add your own links in here too. So if you go to REI BlackBook and you see a blog article we did, for example, you can copy and paste that link. You just press add link, copy and paste it right here, and that will create a new link that you can share. It sets the cookies, and anybody who signs up, again,
Oh, that's cool.
Get tracked back to you. And then this will show you how many people clicked, signed up, customers. You can go back in time, what URLs are working the best, any referrals, free, paying, canceled, all that. It tracks all the people that came through, any payouts that you had, all that good stuff. So nice little portal here for you to track and see how successful this is.
Right on. Cool.
All right. Any questions at all here, or what's the next steps? What can I do for you, sir?
Yeah, just send me over this recording. I'm gonna get it uploaded. I'll probably cut probably this end part, upload it to YouTube, and then I'll probably even splice it too and make multiple videos. So when you did the part about the website, make a different one, so on and so forth. Thank you for showing me the different links. I think I might do an email blast with some copy pushing to that one page with all the interviews you did about during COVID, because that's really great. That's what a lot of people, a lot of people are looking for on YouTube, and a lot of people are interested and curious to listen about.
Yep,
especially right
absolutely. Yep, it's all about edging. And then the other thing too, I don't know if you're interested in this, but you are welcome to participate. We are doing a workshop this Saturday. And we got to do a couple updates to the sales page here. Like we were originally going to do a 5-day follow-up, but we're just going to do 1 day. Most people don't have 5 days to give up, but we're going to walk them through basically setting up follow-up systems. When a lead comes in, how are you processing it, capturing the lead, what type of automation to make sure that no matter how they come through, how are you doing this? So we're going to go through 3 proven follow-up campaigns. We're going to give them the email templates, text messages, and the scripts that they all need. And then we're also giving them 30 days free access to REI BlackBook. So when they're in there, they can go in, build out the follow-up systems if they want, give it a shot. If they like it, they can stay. If they don't like it, well, they can leave, and it's not going to cost them anything extra. So you're welcome to share this. And
yes, I'm going to do that.
All right. So
this is awesome. This is really cool.
So I'm going to go back into your account. I'm just going to go ahead and add this link for you so you can see me do it. Maybe. Oh, there it is. All right. So links, I'm going to add a link. I'm just going to put challenge training. Is that good enough?
That is, yep.
Press save. And now when you're it's already in here. So anytime that you want, like that default is that normal reseller page that I showed you first. So you can basically go through and
cool.
Select and copy right here. But so it'll be inside your portal. You can log in and you can drive traffic to them. That they can sign up. There's a $37 option for the training or a $97 option, and they get the training and the 30-day free trial. So you will be covered and good to go here, sir.
Sweet. I'm excited. This is awesome.
All right, perfect. Well, I'll shoot you this recording over here shortly. And if you have any questions, my direct line, email, all that stuff will be on there. And is it danielsg@cox.net? Is that the good one to send it to?
That is correct.
All right. I will get that sent over to you here shortly, Daniel.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. I enjoyed it, sir. Thank you.
Awesome. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.